Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for joining us today. My name is Rashmita, and I'm the event planner for Microsoft Reactor India. This session will run over the next 60 minutes, including Q&A. But before we begin, please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We are all here to learn together, so please be respectful of other people's views, understanding of differences, being kind and considerate in the way you engage. The chat section will be open throughout, and we do encourage you all to participate. So please feel free to drop all your questions in the chat section. I would now like to welcome Swami, our speaker for today's session. He is an aspirant software architect and currently works at Applied Information Sciences. He loves to learn about new technologies, but for now, I will hand over to Swami to begin the session. Let me bring him into the stream. There you go.
Hey
Over
Rashmita.
to you, Swami.
Hey Rashmita, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Swami. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much. And let me start. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining the session. This is the second session. As we set the context, I'll just spend a quick 2 minutes time, not more, on what we did in the previous session and what this course is. This series itself is we are preparing ourselves for Azure Engineer AI 102, and we have looked into the detailed study guide, AI study guide. And if we come and see that, the last time when we were looking at the study guide, that study guide was showing something like the updates were made on 7th. Now we are seeing that the updates are going to be made on 28th. So it's a minor one. I just did a quick glance on that. If we come and see the changes which are prior to March 28th and March 20th, you see this. The first section is minor, and the second section, content moderation, is minor, and there is no change in the vision solution or NLP or knowledge mining and document intelligence and generative AI, OpenAI and other things. There are no changes at all, not even minor or major. There are no changes. Only the plan one, it is a slight changes are there. I'll look at it. I mean, we'll look at it once we see the river. We'll think of crossing it. What changes it has happened? So minor changes. It shouldn't impact us. And we are going officially based on the official syllabus itself, but majorly focus is on the hands-on part. So we saw this in the first one. So in the first session was pretty heavy, almost 26 to 30 minutes was on theory. From now onwards, it will be majorly on hands-on. We'll see as much as possible. If it is possible, we will see how can we do a balance, but more heavier on the hands-on side. If you see the first section which we covered, it was purely setting up the terms and responsible AI. Some of the terms which we parked it, I remember a couple of things which I parked it because it's not the right time to discuss those things that I parked it. And quickly we jumped into and started doing some of these action items. And today, I think we will be majorly focusing on hands-on on this and this. I was thinking to cover monitor Azure services also. It's like metrics and other things. Seeing the hands-on content which I prepared, I think I will not be able to cover this. We can cover these two in this one. I'll put it in the back burner and do it a separate section and see that whatever the parts which were missing in here and additional samples, because we just covered only the language detection. So we need to do some other programming also. So that and this one, I'll cover it in a separate session in the April 10th. There is one session. In that, we will cover anything which is missing from this one. I mean, missing in the sense due to lack of time or not to discuss overly and lose something. So the learn modules have given here. So we will be focusing only on this one. So the first technical, if you see that this section is done, it's majorly theory. I'm leaving it there. And whatever the terms which I left it, we will revisit that. And again, we will redo this one, the create and consume AI services and secure AI services. I think at least we will be able to reach the 50% of whatever it is given in the sample. If time permits, we'll complete end to end, but at least we will see majority of things, whatever we are able to cover. So let me come back to our resource group. These are the resource groups. I just created these resources, and again we will be creating now. So let me close that, and let's come back and see what is the things which what are the things which are we are going to do. So the previous video is here, which is of session one, and the documentation will all be here in my GitHub repository, Vishipalo, and very specifically in this speaker series here. You can see that the previous session is AI 102 S1 and AI 102 S2. So the S2 I'll be checking in by tomorrow morning. I'll do some more facelifting of this documentation, and I'll check the latest one by tomorrow. Okay, I'll give this to Rashmita to publish this GitHub, or I'll give it to Rashmita. She'll publish it. So now let's get started with this and see the hands-on demo. We'll start doing everything from scratch. So if you see that the 5 sections which you have seen as part of the syllabus here, what are the 5 sessions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are here. So at this point of time, these are the official labs, Microsoft Learning, MS Learn AI services. So that is pointing to this section. If you see that getting started with Azure AI services, that is this one. So out of that, you see Azure AI services here. If you see the first one, plan and prepare, that is this one. And the second section is, this create and consume is pointing to getting started with AI services. And the security lab is this one. So let's focus on these 2 labs majorly. So I've just opened those links in 2 different tabs so that we will be able to focus clearly. There are a lot of things to do here. So let's go step by step and see these labs. Okay, I'll be switching between my Visual Studio code and that one. I have given all the links. Okay, so first we will see that how do we create the multi-tenant account. So the previous session was little rush because it was little heavy on the theoretical side. So I'm going to create a new resource, Azure AI service, the multi-service account. We can go ahead and create individual accounts also. So first thing is, let's go and create a new one, Azure AI service. If you search for that, you can see that Azure AI services. So you can see that Azure AI services. This is the multi-service account. So I'm just creating. And one thing, as we discussed in the previous session, I'm assuming that we discussed. If not, I'm telling it now. So when you create a multi-service account, we will be charged. So that is backed up with a charge. So if we create an individual account, most of the times we will get a free account to try that. So that should be good enough for us. So we are creating this third one, and this notice some of the services, as I was going through the documentation, we will not get a free hand. We have to take a approval from Microsoft, because those might create a problem if you're not using that responsibly. So we have to get the permission, limited access, or what kind of access we need it. So based on that, they approve, and we'll be able to use it. So we'll think of crossing the river when the river comes. But now we are following all the official labs. This is the first lab from the syllabus, AI Azure Engineer syllabus. This is the first lab. So all this code is here. We can get it to our local desktop. It will be here, but I'm using the portal itself, so that it will be easy. We can get it to our local also. Now, provision Azure AI service. That is the first section we have seen that. So we came all the way till here, till this is the first section. We came here. And how do you use the REST interface? There are multiple ways which we can do it. First, let's have a quick walkthrough of the service which we created. Let me go back to the resource group, and we have created the 003. And I recently observed this afternoon. All of a sudden, it displayed this message. So all I did is just did a refresh. I think it's going to take 1 or 2 minutes to create and do some internal stuff, and then it shows it. So I was panicked when I saw this. Did I lose a access on Azure portal? But nothing to worry. So sometimes it shows that the resources has been created and something else is warming up. So we need to wait patiently. So that's one thing which I faced it. As we have seen that decision, language, speech, document intelligence, vision, and 5 of these we have already seen in the syllabus, and we are going to do a deep dive. I mean, as much as possible, we'll do a dive. I don't say a deep dive, but we'll do a decent dive to cover the syllabus, which will help us in writing this exam. And I myself am preparing for this. Okay, so whatever I'm learning, I'm discussing with you people. Okay, and then the next important thing is the retrieving of the endpoint and the keys. We don't need to show. All we can do is just click on copy, it will copy. But let's wait on that. So let's go step by step. So first step, we have created the resources, and the second step is we have to retrieve the endpoint and key. So a couple of points here, as we have seen in the previous example. um, if you see the sample which we have it here, I don't have anything in my app settings.json, but I'm using the secrets.json. So the path of the secrets.json is outside the source code location. So we don't need to worry about that. And if you're using the Python, mostly we will do the .env file. So that will help to store, and we'll create an example .env file also. So that way what happens is all your things will be stored here in the env file, and by default that env file will be marked as ignore in the git ignore file. So this is safe. And general practice, what most of the people they do is they'll put this app settings.json under ignore list. So whatever we are adding new configuration here, that we will need to do add here in the example app settings also. So that way what happens is any of our colleagues or our team members or the deployment team, they know that what all the configuration items which they have to create while they are either using it or while they're deploying it to any environment. Again, there will be a dialogue between the operations team and development team. What configurations, how do you want to do it? Pick it up from the app settings file or read it from the key vault, like who should get access. That's an entire different ball game. But at least from this perspective, we can see that. Okay. As this is the first section, we are going at a high level, whether we are knowing or whether we are trying to know what is this text analysis, what is it doing, what is this language detection. We are not doing anything. All we are doing is tipping our toes in the water. That's it. Like, it's the first section where we are saying that create and plan. We saw quite a few things while discussing about the syllabus. If you take clearly, if you see that in the first section they are saying that in this prepare to develop, choose what we have to do, whether the machine learning or open AI service or cognitive things. They're saying that what do you want to create. If you see that official syllabus over here, let me quickly take you to that official syllabus, and we can see that how that has been tagged here. Let's go to the table. Here, if you see this one, select appropriate Azure AI service, plan and create, monitor and secure. So these are the three major things. Like, at this point of time, it's like we are just tipping the toes inside the water. We don't know, there are multiple resources are there. We have chosen the text analytics, and that to one particular section, language detection. So just, it's like a tip of the iceberg. We just started with it, and then again, time and again, we'll come back. Like, if you see the content moderation and vision surveys, and when do you need these things, we will go deep into the weeds. Like, NLP is a major section. If you are hunting it, that's a pretty good thing. And knowledge mining and document intelligence, generative AI, again, the Azure OpenAI services are coming. So just as we are touching it, we will improvise on top of this. So do not worry, even if we are unable to catch up at this point of time, but we will come back. So as we discussed, always we can regenerate. Show keys are there. If you want to generate keys one, keys two, I'm parking it to the section two, where we will definitely regenerate the keys. We will see that how we will generate the keys. Okay. So now executing the text analysis. So when we are doing the text analysis in the, let's go to that official syllabus here. So you can see this is the Azure AI text analytics. Okay, so let's come back to the C# side of the world and see the text analysis service. So you can see that I can click on this, and I can come into that text analytics client, and this is, we can see what all the options, like what is the endpoint, what credentials it is taking. So some of the information we'll get it, like it's like an ocean. We can get deep into this to find out, like, detect language and all these things here in the text analytics service, where we are hitting the endpoint. And here, if you see that, again, rest, it is mostly we are depending on the HTTP client factory. Now if you come back to this one, text analytics, as I was mentioning, we will not do a deep dive, but at least we know that how can we do it, like what response we can get, how to do the sentiment analysis, like tone or language detection. A lot of other things are available in this. I don't want to derail today's session. Is again, we are doing everything afresh. So we just created, and like, now we'll try different options. I just picked up a Spanish word, a French sentence, and a Japanese good morning, and Tamil Kalai Vanakam, good morning in Tamil. So I just picked up these four words. So let's try. So one quick thing while we are trying is we need to check, because the libraries are getting updated very frequently. So we should be very cautious when we are updating these libraries. So if you see, as of now, we are using the library, whatever it is, the text analysis 5.3. So if you can see that, that's the one which we are using it. And there was an issue in the previous episode when we were trying it. So that got fixed, and thanks to Stack Overflow for that. So I'll show you that uh, if we don't add these two lines, let's try this. As I was mentioning, I'm using the secrets.json. That's the reason you're not seeing anything in the app settings.json. So let's come back to this one. It is, I'm taking this Kalai Vanakam, and uh, I paste it here. So if you see that when it is outputting the question marks, and whether the SDK or REST API, it was showing us as unknown. So it didn't show us the correct value. So now what we have to do is we have to do this. Uh, let's do only this input encoding. Again, output encoding, we will see the same thing, the question marks itself, but because we enable the input encoding, so whatever the input which we gave it through the terminal, it was stored in the variable and it's sent to the SDK, and as well as through the API, the REST endpoint, it got analyzed. But if you see that the output encoding is not configured, so that's the reason we are seeing question marks. So if I come back here and remove that control KC, control KU, that's a shortcut to comment and uncomment. So now I have told the input and output encoding. And one more thing, you're not seeing that I'm writing console here. I already discussed this. That's because I'm using the system.console as a static inside the CS proj. So I don't need to write console.console. Anywhere you can see that whether I'm doing the write line or read or anything related to the console, I'm not prefixing it. So that's one of the advantage of .NET 8 to write those instructions inside the CS proj. So another important thing is these two pieces were missing. So let's see all four: Spanish, French, Japanese, Tamil, and we'll write English also. One strange thing what I observed is it was not recognizing Hindi. I don't know why. I'll chase that again. See, I gave this hola is Spanish. It clearly recognized, and definitely need this is a French. Clearly, France is French, and let's do this Japanese. Good morning. I don't know how to pronounce it, so see SDK recognized and Japanese it recognized, and I am doing a Kale Vanakam, so good morning in Tamil. So it did that. Let's come back and see Hindi. This afternoon it didn't work. Suppose if it is working now, then I'm lucky. Let's say what food. Good morning in Hindi. It was telling Prata Suprabhat or something. Okay, Suprabhat. That's cool. This is good. So let me copy this Suprabhat and paste it. Woo! There you go. It recognized. Okay, I told you as it did. This morning it told something differently. Maybe that is the reason it didn't work. So it's good time for me to go back and update my documentation. It's good we verified this Supravat also. So it's a quite a good win for us. And as we are exploring this, time and again we will revisit this, and we have discussed this to a length. Only new thing which I have added from the previous session was this one. So now we discussed how to create resource, step one, and step two is where should you store. At this point of time we are storing here in the next episode we will store everything from the key vault. So today itself we will create it, but we'll see how much we'll be able to progress towards the goal of reading it. We'll see that. Let's keep all the options open. This is done, and we'll be able to read it. And this also we have tested in C sharp language, and that too it was in .NET 8. It was in .NET 8. Okay, that's pretty cool. So let's come back to the where I am here in this language detection for the Python. Let's come back here. I'm just updating few of those things, but we will see. All the pip install is here. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and delete the .vnv here, so that we'll create it newly. For some reason, when I was testing it, it was not working. Delete that. Okay, just give me 1 minute time. I'm nuking it off, and in the meanwhile, I'll come back. Cancel. Okay, so I'm in the same path. Right mouse click on that, copy the path, cd this one. Okay, I'm here. So let me go to the folder over here, get into this, and try nuking it off. I think something is wrong. Okay, never mind. I just created a copy of the same code at other place that was here. Let's use this instead. I'll go here. I'll nuke this. What? Just give me a minute. Okay, it nuked it. That's cool then. So let's move to the other folder where we do have this one, and cd language detection. So we don't have the .venv folder. So that instructions we have already discussed in the previous episode. So I'll go and let's steal that from the previous episode. I mean, the previous one was pretty heavy on the theoretical style. So I'm clicking on that pip install. It will take 1 or 2 minutes, not more, but let's do that, revisit it again. So I am installing that .venv. Now you can see that if we come here, so it is creating that. Oh, it's not this folder. Let's not create confusion. So it is creating that. Okay, it has created. So once it has created, what we can do is we can get into that. And we already seen in the previous episode, it contains the bat file, ps1, and the shell script. It has got everything. Now if I do pip, it's showing. And let's do pip freeze. Let's do the pip freeze. Nothing is installed. And let's go ahead and install these two things. We are doing that, and it's asking us to bump up the pip. Let's bump it up. And the .env, python.env is to read the .env files. So now we are installing this package, and also let's install the text analytics, Azure AI text analytics. So we are installing that. So that guy is bringing in other packages. You can see that Azure Common and all these things. So if I come in here, what I can do is now we can do pip freeze. I mean, technically, pip freeze should be piped into the requirements.txt, but the requirement txt has got something else at this point of time. I will untouch that as of now. So now I'm doing Python REST client, and we'll quickly test all those values. So this is using the REST client. You can see that how it is going. It is recognizing the Spanish. It is recognizing the Spanish label. Now let me come back and give it the French one. It has recognized that it's French. And let's do Suprabhat. And there you go. It recognized. Let me do a quit and come back over here. Now the next one is Python SDK client. Now we can do the same. Give Suprabhat, Hindi, hola, Spanish, mercy, thank you in French. And here we can type Kale Vanakam, this one. So Python is more stable. That's what I see from the encoding perspective. Okay, so let's stop this. And let me do a deactivate. So we are coming out of the virtual environment. So we tried this, and today we are going to see a new way to try this, or that is through Postman. I'll add the Postman collections also here, so you can see that in the Postman collection it is pretty simple. How do we find? It's like if I come back, and it's not big thing to find out Python. If you do the REST client itself, what are the sample it was given, mercy, and it is coming in here. Let me go back here. If you see here in the C#, you see that how it is hitting the HTTP endpoint is more important. You can see that endpoint all the way till here, and then /text/analytics/version 3.1/languages and question mark if you want to pass any of those values. So you can see that the same thing, I have it here. You can see that the same value, whatever it spit when we are trying the .NET 8, same thing all the way it is coming. And another tips, we will get it from the coding over here. Like if you see that in the Python, if you come back in the Python REST client, if you see that here we are passing content type as well as the API key. So those two things has to go as part of the headers. So if you see that the subscription key part of values are going as part of the headers in our Postman. And if you see the body, it is the JSON body. We said documents, and here in the C# also it might be a little bit different, but net you can see that the JSON object is this one. So but it is coming as part of the documents array, but net you can see that it's a single one. So this itself is telling it's an array of objects. So you can see that documents, it's an array of objects. So let's come back here. So that's what we are passing. See that in Python we are seeing documents, it's an array of objects in C#, and in Python also you can see that it's a document and it is an array of objects, like whatever you want to pass it. So in both the places, the same. So we are passing documents, and each individual object should represent the ID and the label. So here I'm passing this and the kind. What is this kind? I just want to analyze what language it is. Okay, when I hit, it is going and it is telling me that it is Tamil, and model version. It says that 2023 12 December 2023. So it's latest model, more powerful, and we can give that a shot with other things also. So if I can come back here, Superbath, and remove that. Can I add the second one? I don't know. I'm experimenting. I think technically we should be able to. Let's do, and let's get the Superbath. A good combination of Tamil and Hindi. Let's give this a shot. So you can see that it recognized the ID1, Kalai Vanakam is Tamil, and ID2, Suprabhat is Hindi. So confidence score is also, it is giving here. It says that confidence score is 1. It's 82% confidence score in Hindi. I don't know why he is giving low. Maybe because of that exclamation, I assume. I don't know. I'm just telling. Okay. Even if it is without exclamation, this guy gave a little lower number. But net, we know that that's an array of documents. So we can pass multiple values into that and extract. So now we have touched or tipped our toes in the waters of language detection or text analysis. Very particularly, we focused on the language detection, and we spent quite a few time to understand how do we create the Azure AI multi-service account, and what is the importance of endpoint and key. If at all the keys are compromised, nothing is going to happen. It's not World War III. It's just a little bit of turbulence. We need to go and reset the keys. Okay, and definitely everything will be in key vault or more secure place, not in app settings or secrets.json. Never. Everything will be from reading from the key vault. And we played quite a few things. We did it through the C# programming. We found the encoding is very important. What happens if we don't give the proper encoding? And then we played it with the same two flavors, how we played in C#, SDK, and the REST API. Similarly, in Python also we played with SDK and REST API. You can see that French, Tamil, Spanish. I cut it here because when I tried Hindi, it failed. So that's the reason I cut it here. And I was pretty much sure it didn't work this afternoon when I was trying this. But we are lucky. Maybe it is good evening for us, definitely. Hindi is also working now. Now you can see that Spanish and Japanese, we tried it. And the new addition which we did it today is the how do we do this REST, particularly the text analytics, and very particularly the language detection. So that's the first module's first exercise. Now let's come back to the Azure security perspective. So now what happens is, let's come back to this one. Let's come back to the portal here. So I'll come in here. So this is where I have my keys. So how can I generate the keys is, I can come back and create these two variables. Let me paste it. Okay, so those are pointing to my resource group. Those are pointing to my resource group, and Azure AI services AI 102 dev 003. Oh, it's not dev 003. I need to go back to dev 002. That's what I'm looking at here. I'm looking at Azure AI Services AI 102 Dev 002. So that means it is this one, Dev 002. Let's go here and click on this keys. What? Not eligible? Come on. Um Maybe it's seeing whether I'm active or still sleeping. Okay, so here we have these keys. So let's execute one. There are multiple ways we can do it. First way, let's try this one. So let's try to go and get the list keys. So if I go and get the list keys, you can see C665DF. So if I come and click on show keys, this is 5DF. I can say that regenerate the key one. So now that is D9. So if you come back here, it was 5D6. If we execute that, whatever the things which we generated, you can see that D9. So that is one way you can come and regenerate that. Other way we can regenerate the keys is we can execute this command, cognitive services command. I will need to do this and also deactivate it. I'll come back to the portal and paste this command, and we are generating the key one. So see that if we come back here, hide the keys and show keys, but it's going to take some time. I think it's going to take some little bit time because the key has been regenerated here. In the previous command, when we executed, we said that regenerate. We said key one. So the key one, the previous one was D9. Now it is CA. So technically, that the updated value should be populated here. Maybe it is doing some modifications internally. Wow. Now if we get the keys, the previous one was regenerate. Now it is giving the same key, whatever we have generated. So that is one of the way which we can do it. Two ways we have seen. One way is going to the portal and clicking on the keys and endpoint, and there it shows the values. We will be able to go and click those manually, or other way what we have seen is we can go ahead and do it through the command line, AZCLI, and maybe you can use that in the bash shell or using the PowerShell. It's the same. I mean, the command is the same. Just we wanted to see the keys from the bash shell. Let me copy this. It's already copied. Let me switch to the bash. So someone who's pretty much a bash shell guy, he has got that option to switch to the bash and execute that the same Azure CLI command from here. It's I need to create those two variables. That's a problem. So let me come back here. I need to export those values. Okay, we have seen a couple of ways how we can manage the authentication keys. We saw how can we manage authentication keys using portal and using Azure CLI. So those are the two things which we have seen. Just give me a minute. I just want to ensure that we are still able to access. Ah, it's stuck somewhere, but we can quickly access the program and check the previous program which we were executing. Okay, because I didn't touch the secondary key. I was using the secondary key. So secondary key is still working. That means we do have access. I don't know why this guy is showing like this. Let's leave it aside. And now the next thing what we will do is let's go back to the second official second official lab is this one. Manage Azure AI services security. So this is the sample code which we have already discussed. Now provisioning also we have seen in this section. Now manage authentication also we have spent a decent amount of time where we were able to create create or modify, create the resources, go and modify. We can go ahead and regenerate the keys as many times as possible, but generally we don't do that. And using portal we have seen, as well as using the Azure CLI, we have seen that we can do it. And also we spent a good enough time to go ahead and spend time on the postman to hit this one. And once you are able to do with the postman, now the host number of options you can see that one. Like if you see, if you want something to do it in Go native, now it gives a Go programming language. Now if you want to do it with Node.js and Axios, now Objective C, see that. Now the Postman guy is pretty intelligent. He gives us code, whatever the language you want. C, Objective C, you see that host number of options are there here, like C, REST sharp, HTTP client, curl, Dart, HTTP, Java programming, JavaScript, XHR, Kotlin is there, Node.js, PHP, and R programming, Python, shell script, wget. There are a lot of options it's giving us. So once you know how to do it with this REST, and you can do it in any number of programming languages. You can see that as part of the Postman it is showing. But when it comes to the SDK, you need specific support from the particular product team. Like if you see that for text analytics, in particular, whatever we are discussing today is language detection. We need the SDK, very specific SDK libraries. You can see that in C Sharp, we have these libraries, that Azure.ai.text analytics. And if you see in Python, here you can see that this is a .NET package and this is a Python package. So when it comes to REST, you have host number of options. Whether it's just an endpoint, it's just a REST endpoint where you go and hit it. But when it comes to SDK, that's when you need support from the product team. They have to expose this through a NuGet package or whatever the packaging mechanism they are using, and the respective programming languages they are willing to support. Okay, so now let's go to the next step of this one. Similarly, see, it is very easy. Now if you want to test whether it is curl or shell script, we can come here and we can use the shell script, whatever it is. See this, if you want, it creates the shell scripts pretty similar to this one. Copy and put it in .sh, or if you want something else, maybe the Python HTTP client or request. See that it clearly creates everything, like import request and import JSON, and you see everything is here. Whatever the response it is coming, we are printing it as part of this one. So that's a slight difference. Now the sh file, you can put the same file here, the same curl command. So we'll see the curl. We didn't see the curl. Curl is at the top. So this single line you can see here, whatever this guy is hiding here, the same thing is coming here. One difference you can see that is hyphen hyphen data as key, but whatever the postman is generating, it is hyphen hyphen data. But rest is pretty much the same. You can happily go and hit it. Okay, so that we have discussed. We did this regenerate also, and we tried with the postman. Now secure keys access with Azure Key Vault. So this is very important. So let's come back and create the key vault. So let me come back to our resource group. The couple of things we have to discuss here. I mean, we'll not rush. We'll spend decent time, learn, then we'll move. If you need, we'll do extra sessions, but no cut down. Azure Key Vault. Azure Key Vault. What? Ooh. This one. Azure Key Vault, the first one. Let's create the key vault. Now, KB AI 102 dev 003, if it is available. Now we need standard, that should be good enough. And here, if you see that soft delete, the ability to turn off soft delete, by default soft delete is enabled. Okay, so we'll come back what happens if you do a soft delete. So it doesn't delete, but it keeps these values in a temporary location. For lack of better term, I'm calling it as a temporary location. Now, if you see that there is important thing called purge protection. So what happens is by enabling the purge protection on a key vault is irreversible action. That's, I mean, the terms and other things will leave it. But what is more important is if at all by fluke or wantedly, if someone deletes a item from the key vault, it will not be deleted, but it will be held in a temporary location for the duration. So what happens is if you enable the purge protection, it will enforce mandatory retention period for deleted key vault objects. Okay, so disable purge protection is allow the key vault objects to be purged during the retention period. Here we are saying that if you delete a keys, so within this 90 days, you will have an option to go ahead and delete it. So here I'm enabling this one. So it's giving once enabled, this option cannot be disabled. That is fine. And another option, what you have to do is key vault access. We have to come back here and give access to ourselves. By default, the user who's creating, even he will not be given the access. We'll see both these options now. Let it validate, and the part 2 of this we will do in the previous session. I mean, in the next session, we'll do the remaining whatever is left out of this one. We will take care there, because I want to focus on all these key pieces apart from the textual discussion and hands-on. These are very, very important pieces. Why do we need to enable purge? I mean, the intention of we bringing in the key vault into the mix is from the security perspective. If we don't enable the purge protection, if someone deletes it, people will run from pillar to post to find out why the solution is not working. It was working this afternoon and it stopped working this evening. Why? So people will start running pillar to post. So we'll see these two things here. So let me come back to this key vault, the first key vault, dev 002. I'll come back to the secrets, and we'll see. I think purge protection is disabled. So what happens is the purge protection is the retention period is 90 days. So this is AI services key. So I'm copying this name And what I'm doing is I'm coming and clicking on delete. So soft delete is enabled. You see that the soft delete is enabled. By default it is enabled, but we don't have the purge protection. So now again, let's assume that I deleted it by mistake, assuming that I have to delete key A, but instead I deleted the Azure AI key services. Now we can click on manage deleted secrets. So this is the one which we have deleted. So it deleted on March 12th, but for 90 days we have the soft delete. So for 90 days it has to retain. The retention period is 90 days. So scheduled purge is 10th June. But due to purge protection, I didn't enable the purge protection. That means I can very well go and wipe off everything. Okay, so that's because of let's check that. Manage deleted items. Recover the secret. I'm fine with that. Fail to purge. Does not have. Oh, okay. So that's because the access, the purge protection access will not be given to me. So from the access perspective, when I'm creating the access here, if I have to add myself to the access and role assignment, if I see my name, yeah, this one, if you see my name here, and if I get in, it will not have this purge value. So I'll show you what does that mean. Suppose if I want to add the role assignment, and if I'm telling that select the member, and let me select myself, swami.pkv@hotmail.com, and I'll select this, and if I go next, oh, role I didn't select. I select this member. I have to select the role. I'm selecting the contributor role. I said next. I said next. And then I have to assign the value also. What is that I'm able to do? That means list and also the delete permission. All these access policies I have to add. If you see that here, if I go ahead and edit, we'll see that somewhere the purge will not be selected. See, this is the privileged operation. So if I select this purge also and click on next, and if I save, this is my account. Now that got selected. Let me come back to this one and go to this managed and select this key and click on purge. And if I do a purge, it is gone. So now the value itself is untraceable. No one knows that it exists. So that is the reason. If we come back to the dev 003, here we have enabled the purge protection. So what happens is if someone creates a key for demo and some junk, we will write it, and let's create that, and I'll select this and I click on delete. It's deleted. Now I go and manage this one. Now the retention period, it shows that. Now you see that the purge button itself is disabled. I mean, having the access policies is different. Having the access policies, even if I go ahead and bump to this one, it's of no use because the purge protection is there. So that means even if I delete it, even if I delete something, and try to purge it from here, see that purge protection is enabled for all items within this keyword. That means even though I select it, I can just recover it, but I cannot purge it. So what happens is, even if someone is trying to delete it and try to remove it from the system, they'll not be able to do that. So this is what is very important. So in the demo exercise 2, we have come till the secure keys with key vault. So this section we have covered. So the next section is creating the service principal, and the second half of this we'll do it in the next episode. Along with that, if it all needed, I'll create a separate section for all the pieces which slip into the next episodes, so that we can focus on this one. So back to you, Rashmita.
Thank Thank you so much, Swami, for hosting another amazing session. And thank you all for joining us today. Please visit Microsoft Reactor website for more upcoming session. Please feel free to use the Learn module links, which I've already shared. And also right now you can see on the screen. This will give you access to additional resources to take your learning further. Thank you all once again and enjoy the rest of your day.
Good night.